Christine Sinclair soaking up the moment a little bit more as she continues to walk the pitch at Christine Sinclair Place. 48,112 was announced as the attendance as we welcome you back inside our One Soccer studio. Andy Petrillo, Jordan Wilson, Jess Lisi. The country showed up. We knew that there were going to be 4 friendlies when she made her announcement of retirement, 4 opportunities to say thank you and to say goodbye to Christine Sinclair. Montreal, Halifax, Victoria, and now out in Vancouver. Is this the kind of send-off when you're an athlete, especially of that magnitude, that you dream of?
Yeah, it's what she deserves. I think you look at a testament, all the players, even the opposition, right? Australia going there and giving her a hug. But this is something we don't really know Canadian soccer without Christine Sinclair. And you think tonight, even though she's a bit older, even though she maybe is not playing in her preferred spot, she's getting the ball, crossing it, you can still see that she has so much to give to the game. But I think one of those things when you're a player, when to leave is just a feeling you know within yourself. And I think Christine will miss her, but what a player that she is and what a person that she is.
Yeah, absolutely. She definitely deserves this kind of send-off. I think today as a nation, we're all mourning the loss of Christine Sinclair, but we're also celebrating the great career that she gave us Canadians. And, you know, everybody's super proud of her. And, you know, I just think that she couldn't have been sent off in a better way, especially with that dub coming her way.
So while her time is done with the national team, I mean, she is going to play another year of pro with Portland. She's made it perfectly clear she's going to continue to lend her voice to the fight for equal pay and equal treatment. In fact, tomorrow evening, she's going to be hosting a gala. She jokes, she goes, can a gala where you're showing up in like jeans and a hoodie, yeah, be considered a gala? But it's Girls with Goals, and that's what she's starting, is this new foundation where she said every time, you know, a boy gets an opportunity at soccer, she wants to make sure that a young girl gets the same opportunity. So you're already starting to see that next step for her. Even though she's going to continue playing a year of pro, she's giving back. And how much does that mean, you know, to you, Jess, as somebody who even played in the youth system, but when you see somebody of that magnitude who accomplished so much in their career individually, now when they're at that other point in their career, just giving it all back?
I mean, it means the world. I think, as I mentioned in the pregame show, you know, she was someone that made me feel seen as a kid. I looked to her and said, you know what, my goals, they're reachable. I can achieve them. You know, she's done all this. She's overcome all these barriers. And, you know, I think she overcame all those barriers so that the youth coming through this program now, you know, they can run. Christine Sinclair walked so they can run. I think she's done so much for this country and she continues to inspire. So to see her, you know, using her voice and her presence to speak up for that next gen is a dream.
We're witnessing a once-in-a-generation type of player. Like, it's not, outside of the goals, which player or which person can you say is like synonymous with Canadian soccer? Like, it's Christine Sinclair.
Yeah.
This is the beginning. Like, in my 32 years of existence, when I'm looking at the game, Christine Sinclair has been a part of it. So it's weird maybe not seeing her play, but I know that it's like a drug being a footballer, right? You know that she's going to be a part of it in some way, shape, or form. But it's just a beautiful ride while it happened.
And we're going to get to kind of like what's next for the national team in just a moment, because you're right. Christine Sinclair, this is a generational player, and I think we also kind of came to the conclusion quite some time ago when we were asking the question, who's going to be the next Christine Sinclair? We finally realized, well, there's not going to be one, hence why she's called a generational player. Christine Sinclair is with our Oliver Platt.
Christine, firstly, can I just ask you how you're feeling after that?
I mean, I'm always a competitor, so I feel great. We won the game. Super proud of the team, and I mean, this is nuts, absolutely nuts.
What's it been like to take all this in? 48,000 fans, a lot of friends and family, and all of the celebrations tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this type of stuff, it's never my favorite, but I promised myself to enjoy it, and it's been overwhelming. Yeah, I mean, to be on the field with my nieces and for them to experience this, it's incredible.
How would you summarize just this last week spent with the team and your teammates, sir?
Like, surreal and the perfect ending.
What are you going to do now?
Celebrate with my teammates and then enjoy a little bit of downtime.
Much well deserved. Thank you for everything, Christine. Appreciate it.
Downtime, what's that? Well, she's about to find out. So, by the way, 48,112, that is the largest attendance for a friendly at home, and the 7th largest attendance ever for a Canadian match as well. So pretty special that the country has come out for a friendly, right, against Australia, but we know they came out to watch Christine Sinclair. So here's the thing. This is somebody, and you kind of made a light bulb also go off as well when we were talking in the pregame show. We were saying, Nichelle Prince, and could she one day possibly surpass Christine Sinclair, because Nichelle Prince seems to be the appointed number 9. Right. And you're like, I just think things are different now. Are we entering also this new era? Christine Sinclair is now gone. Will it give other players this opportunity to blossom, something new? It was always just give Christine the ball. That was literally the game plan for so many years. How different do you think this team will also look? Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, the responsibilities will be spread out amongst more players. You're not going to look to a Christine Sinclair to get the ball in the back of the net. As I said earlier, you have a Nichelle Prince. I think she's going to be on that score sheet often. But I think there's still going to be an Adriana Leon. There's going to be a Jordan Heidema. There's going to be a Chloe Lacasse. And there's going to be more youth players coming through the program that, have that opportunity to shine. And I just think that we're going to see a team that their identity is going to change, and it's forced to change, because those are big shoes to fill. So I just think we're going to see a lot more stars, rise to the occasion.
To add to Jess's point as well, I think Christine Sinclair, she wasn't always the most vocal player, but she had presence, right? Pedigree. So when she walked into a room, whether it was training, whether it was match day, players looked to her. Who are the Canadian women looking to now? It has to be committee. It might not be one player saying, hey, let's lift it up. It might be everyone looking at each other like, look, we can do this. We've seen someone lay the foundation. Now it's up to the players to really take on the mantle and just really take hold of their playing career and of their nation.
We'll probably see that happen organically, right? They have competitions coming up in the new year, of course, even before the Olympics. So I'm sure we'll start to see that formation and who is the leader, if it is by committee, or who ends up running away with the goal scoring. It'll just end up happening organically. But in the meantime, this was the one last game for Christine Sinclair, coming out in the 58th minute. Thank you, Sink.
CanadaSoccerStore.com is the official home for the widest range of Canada Soccer licensed product, match jerseys, and fanwear. Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca.
What a night, and what a finish to this game. There are some ugly scenes here. That is as good a goal as you will see. A spectacular finish!
Here's a look at your full-time stats. Canada with the 1-0 victory to go along with their 5-0 win on Friday. No shots on target for the Aussies. Kaylin Sheridan was chilling. She was watching this match and enjoying it like the rest of us here. Christine Sinclair's final game, which is why the All-State save of the match actually goes to the Aussie keeper, and that would be Tegan Micah. This is in the second half. The Canadians really started to turn things on at the end of the first half, and they picked up where they left off in the second 45, and Chloe Lacasse was just the Energizer Bunny in this one. Gets the shot off, but Micah makes the save. The Canadians were looking for that insurance goal, but either way, they get the victory. As we welcome you back, Andy, Jordan, Jess. I'm going to ask it. I'm going to ask it because I have to ask it. Christine Sinclair comes out in the 58th minute. Did you want to see her play longer?
Look, I want to see if she couldn't. I want to see both hamstrings go, right? Her cramp up, and then be like, okay, sub her off. Like, this is her last dance. This is her last little bit. I think the 58th minute sub, I didn't like it. I feel like she could go a bit longer. I think she could have played to the 75th minute. But then also Schmidt going on as well for Sinclair. Like, maybe it was for her to wear the captain band, but I would love to see them even play together for 10 minutes, Jess, 15 minutes, whatever it might be. The 58th minute in the last game, I didn't love it. I don't know how you feel, Jess, but for me, I want to see Sinclair give every ounce that she had left. And she looked like she still had some in the tank towards the end of the game when she got subbed off.
Yeah, you said it earlier, we're twins. I agree with you. I think that, I would have loved to see her continue to play more, like you said, at least the 75th minute. And I think I would have loved to see Schmidt and her play together one last time. The two legends take the field together. But again, I do think it was to give her that captain's band. I'm sure there was more reasoning behind that, but it was definitely something I wish we would have seen them play together for one last time.
It was just beautiful as well, though. I will say, silver lining is Sinclair giving Schmidt the captain's armband. That is nice. It's touching. But play homegirl, man. She could have done a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of in agreement there. You wanted to see her maybe go a little bit longer. Schmidt could have still come into the game, and she could have still handed her
100%.
The armband. I mean, it's a friendly. You can do whatever you want. Hand the armband over and kind of do that up. Hey, this wouldn't be a sports post-game show if we weren't complaining about something. You didn't actually think it was going to be a completely perfect night and all rainbows over here. So I think we just wanted to see more Sinclair in her final game. But she was part of the only goal of this game as we take you to the first half. This was off a set piece. What did you like about this goal?
I like that Sinclair did what Sinclair does. That run across, just being that presence, right? That flick on, that was by design. You know that you're not going to score in that position, but Sinclair flicks it on. Kadisha Buchanan does well to just get her body over that, and Quinn is in the right place at the right time, Jess.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to see off of a set piece. Obviously, great ball in by Fleming. Great touch by Sinclair. This is exactly what you want from a player like Sinclair, to just deflect the ball, make sure someone is getting there, and Buchanan to be able to get in, back post, perfect run, redirect it, and Quinn to just, tap that ball in.
And we've seen this before from the Canadian women in terms of set plays being their bread and butter, and I want to see it come back a bit. Yeah. So it's nice today to win 1-0, keep the clean sheet, but to score on a set piece.
But it's about finding balance as well, because even heading into that World Cup, all these goals were coming from set pieces. They weren't scoring from open play. Then in that home and away against Jamaica to qualify for the Olympics, they got quite a few goals from open play. And we thought, all right, here we go, finding balance. So on that note and on that theme of balance, see how I'm kind of creating a bit of a segue here, we're starting to see the Canadians find that attack, and now their defense is back as well. Because, Jordan, I would say probably in the beginning of the year, we were a little concerned about Buchanan and Gilles, who were just stalwarts. Like, you could just depend on them in that center-back position. And they were looking off. It seems like they're back.
Yeah, they're back. The chemistry is right now, Andy. Specifically, when you're looking at the partnership between Buchanan and Gilles, I think that Gilles struggled when she played on the left side in the back four. She believes Cup a few months ago, and then having Buchanan on the right. And I think Bev switched them. I don't know if it was a conversation that she had or just noticing, but Buchanan seems much more comfortable on the left side. Gilles in the middle. And then you have someone like Jade Rose, who, honestly, when you're playing in a back three, I've played in the back. When you don't have to worry about a certain side and Jade Rose, you know that pace for pace she can keep up with anyone. You know that she's strong, she defends well. All you really have to do is worry about players in front of you, the Flemings, the Quinn, Awujo, whoever it might be, right, for Vanessa Gilles. So right now you see that chemistry with the back line. That's what I like. And then you have a Lawrence, or if it's a Collins, or Jade as well, Riviere. That's what you like to see, players coming in and really taking their spot. So I like how we can build from that spot right now from the back.
Yeah, they're looking very confident, which is what you want from your center backs. So it's definitely, you know, exactly what you want from them, and I'm happy to see them finally find their footing again and help this team out.
By the way, 0 surprises that a microphone found its way to Karina LeBlanc. So there she is. Let's see if these two can hear me now as we go on over to Oliver Platt, Carmelina Moscato, inside Christine Sinclair place. Ollie, take it away.
Thanks, Andy. Carm, a lot to get into tonight. It's been an emotional night. Let's start with the game, though. What were the biggest takeaways for you from that match for Canada?
Yeah, I think you said it best. There were two teams that were definitely prepared for each other tonight. For a large portion of that match, you sort of saw almost a stalemate of sorts, but I would definitely give all the momentum and best chances to Canada. I think they scored on a set piece tonight. We've been asking for that for a long time. And I think this team did Sinclair proud. It was a very disciplined performance. You know, going through that emotion at the beginning of the match, myself included, I think it was very difficult to turn that back on, and they did that, and they did that for Sinclair. I love the idea that, you know, they also changed the captain's band, and there was a lot of, as much as we
which is what they got here tonight. 1-0 the final for Christine Sinclair's final game. Oh, the power of love. Well, as we look back, we also look ahead because the Canadian women's national team, they're going to be busy in 2024. It is the CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup. Then they have 3 international friendly windows. You have to wonder if the She Believes Cup will be in one of those. We haven't heard anything yet about that being scheduled because it normally happens in and around when the Gold Cup is happening this year. So the schedule has moved around a little bit. And then beginning end of July, it is the Olympics in Paris. Let's continue to look ahead as Oliver Platt is sticking around with us there inside Christine Sinclair Place. You know, Ollie, as we look at Friday's match, we look at tonight's match, you can even look at the last 4 friendlies that the Canadians have had in general, where we already knew Bev was trying to put a lineup together to see what this team would look like without Christine Sinclair. Maybe what are some of the players, you know, who stand out to you moving forward?
Well, I think in the context of Sinclair specifically, you've got to start with the front 3, and Prince, Leon, and Lacasse looks like a pretty good one right now. I don't think it's just the individuals. I think it's the team as a whole and how they've kind of evolved tactically. I think you can say, as disappointing as the World Cup was, there's been a good response from Bev Priestman. She's clearly implementing some new ideas, a new system, obviously. And that's brought the best out of this team, I think, in possession and from an attacking sense. So you can certainly be optimistic, I think, going into the new year about the way this team has reacted to a really poor tournament and the football they're playing, which I think has been, you know, pretty much as good from an attacking sense, a chance creation sense, as we've seen in some time from Canada.
We know that we want to see young players, and we're seeing some of them. We talked about them even in the pregame show, and a Simia Wujo and a Jade Rose. Olivia Smith, by the way, dealing with injury. That's why she's not here. So are you pretty comfortable with the kind of youth-veteran mix of this team?
Yeah, a bit. I think the youth coming up, I think they have to do a bit more, but it's also about Bev Priestman giving them the right opportunity and the right chances, right, and playing them. I would love to see Olivia Smith play more. I think that she's a great talent. Owujo, I've already said, but for me, we've seen what she can do going forward. But it's really just throwing her body about and like kind of just making herself a presence as well defensively. We saw Riviere as well. It's not easy to play on the left side when you're right-footed. So there are some talented, absolutely some talented young players. I think it's just really, Carm said it best, the leaders, the veterans, they have to lead. And then young players have to be eager to prove and say, hey, I don't want to just be a part of the roster. I want to get real minutes, but they have to earn that, Jess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's obviously difficult going in as a youngster, not only with the nerves, but, you know, you have to earn your spot. I do think that when the youngsters have gotten a chance to get on the pitch, they've done well with the time that they've had. I think it's just about, you know, getting more minutes under them and that experience growing, because they definitely do have a talented group of youngsters.
I want to get your thought on some 2 big competitions here, Ollie, as I try to figure out my camera. Number 1, what do you think the expectations are for Canada at the Gold Cup? And I know they'll never say, you know, they're looking ahead to Paris, it's 1 game at a time. But now that we know teams like Sweden, who they beat in Tokyo, England, you know, not having qualified for the Olympics, those 2 teams are going to be out of it. You know, do they kind of chomp at the bit a little bit of, you know, the reality of being able to defend their gold? What are the expectations of those 2 tournaments?
Well, I think they'll feel a lot better about those tournaments again based on the past few games since the World Cup than maybe we did coming out of the World Cup, where it was very difficult to see Canada contending for anything anytime soon. Clearly there's been a turnaround there and some improvements, and now I think you look at those 2 tournaments and you think that Canada can be in the mix. You know, you have a US team that's still in a little bit of transition, obviously waiting for a new coach in Emma Hayes. I think Hayes is an excellent, excellent coach, and they have a wonderful player pool. So if they really get going, then at any CONCACAF tournament and obviously any world tournament as well, they're going to be difficult for Canada to beat. But in the meantime, let's see what they can do at the Gold Cup, and if they can, you know, transition these kind of performances to that tournament, I think it'll give them real momentum going into the summer and obviously Paris.
Yeah, because they would love some more hardware in that trophy case, that's for sure. That's Oliver Platt, who's been joining us live from Christine Sinclair Place, named in her honor for a very special night. It's been an honor bringing this game to you here. Christine Sinclair has made us smile, has made us jump out of our seats for over 20 years. And so many people play this game because of her. So many people wear the number 12 because of her. So many people even know about Canada being a sporting country because of her. So thank you, Christine Sinclair. No better way to go out than with a win. 1-0, the final here, Canada and Australia. to close out 2023 and to close out an incredible career. On behalf of everyone here at One Soccer, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.